case you forgot that men are awful, I posted a video about what the girlies are gonna do if we ever hit an apocalyptic situation and like life's never going back to normal. And there are currently almost 7,000 comments of women saying that they would themselves rather than deal with the men out in the world because they know that they would be abused, used, and discarded. Not to mention all the girlies in the comments saying that they would make sure their body was burned, disposed of, like mangled beyond recognition, because even death will not stop men from using our bodies against our will. I know this is grim, but also the girlies are hysterical. And if you would like some funny, girly, dark humor, I highly encourage you to go look at that video on my page. I am just having so much fun scrolling through the comments. Everyone is hilarious. Everyone is so funny. And I just love all the girlies once again.
Yeah. Okay. So the girlies are hilarious. I'm skeptical, but I like a good comment section. Maybe the women really were funny. So I went and found the original video she's talking about. And at first I was really unimpressed because there's just lots of comments like this about women's periods. And I'm thinking, is this like the humor for women? Is this funny? I didn't think I'd find anything good, but I was actually wrong. As I kept scrolling, I found some genuinely funny stuff. As soon as the Wi-Fi goes down, I'm done. I'm already having a bad time. Why would I want to survive without running water and brunch? I'm finding Pedro. And I'll admit, it was pretty good. There's just a bunch of comments like this that are kind of just making fun of women about how useless they'd be in a survival situation. But this is not the dark humor that I was promised. Like, she made it seem like it was going to be like this really edgy, subversive, like humorous satire against men. But all of the comments, all the jokes, they all were making fun of women. Not in a mean-spirited way, in a kind of just like harmless gender difference way. Like, I'm a woman, I can't cope without brunch or Wi-Fi. You know, it's not serious. It's just harmless humor. But I don't know what she thought she was reading, but it seemed to have completely gone over this lady's head. This woman, she says that it's funny, but she herself is just taking it so seriously. The truth is that if there was some kind of apocalypse, men and women would respond very differently. I'm going to play a part of her original video.
I feel like men like glorify apocalyptic times. They're like, oh yeah, it'll be so cool, like lawlessness, and like we'll get our guns and like we'll have shelters and like da da da.
See, I don't understand why she has like this mocking, condescending tone, like men have something to be ashamed of here. Men do think about civilizational resets and like apocalyptic scenarios because it would be a chance to let your masculinity run unleashed. Men are builders. They are problem solvers. If everything collapses, that's a chance to build things and create stuff and go back to using survival skills. Like, lots of men love that. They love being close to nature. It would be a chance to show leadership and courage and form new bonds that are based on respect and competence. You know, it would be like the ultimate kind of meritocracy. There's no nepotism in a zombie apocalypse. So this is a normal fantasy for men to have, to put their virtues to the test, to challenge themselves, to see what they're made of. That's not a bad thing. I don't know why she thinks that men should be ashamed of this. But anyway, let's see how women would respond in an apocalypse.
So my plan, if we ever get into that situation, is to ta-ta, I'm checking out, going back to spirit world. This sounds like a problem for my next incarnation. We are hopping in the garage, turning on the car, vibing until we're no longer here. I'm out. Like, I don't need to deal with that. I don't need that kind of stress. That sounds like a recipe for insane cortisol. It doesn't sound fun. Like, I'm all good. We're not doing it.
I don't think the people who responded to her video thought that she was being serious because like the vibe is like satire. It seems like she's making fun of herself. Like, nah, bye-bye. Like, it's too stressful. I don't want to deal with it. Like, the apocalypse, it's just not fun. And I don't blame her. I don't think there's anything she should be embarrassed about. Femininity is not well built for a survival apocalypse scenario. Like, yeah, of course, most women can't cope with that. And knowing that you are unsuited for that kind of a survival situation as a woman there's two different ways that you can handle that. Most women will be like her comment section, like having fun with the idea, laughing at themselves. Like there was one woman who said that when she was watching the Pedro TV show, The Last of Us, she said to her boyfriend, like, oh, no, I think I'm more of a flashback character. I don't want to deal with this. Just like a humorous recognition of their own limitations. But evidently there is this portion of women who recognize their own weakness and they can't handle that. They can't stomach the fact that they wouldn't do well in a situation like this. So they take it really seriously and they're like, and you know why I couldn't do it? It's because of men. It's their fault. They're the problem. Men would just instantly enslave women. Now, I'm not going to deny that in hellish scenarios, men are capable of doing some unbelievably dark things. I've read history. It's not pretty. It's truly horrifying what we are capable of. And I think I heard someone say once that the PTSD that some soldiers experience isn't necessarily because of things that they witnessed or experienced. It was discovering parts of themselves that they'd never integrated. Seeing that come out in like a war zone is they can't handle that they were capable of doing some things. Like, yeah, men can go to some unbelievably dark places. But this woman is being so manipulative, bringing up like these horrible acts that men could commit, with the implication being that those kinds of behaviors, they're exclusive to men. Only men could possibly be dangerous, but I'm a woman. I am part of the morally superior gender. I gotta tell you, if that's your perspective, then your idea about humanity is not dark enough. The terrible deeds that we are capable of, that is a human problem. If you think that it's exclusive to just men, then you're delusional. That or you are intentionally lying and being manipulative. And there were comments like this that were taking it really seriously, but like, yeah, I just want to build like a compound just for women. If I'm just in a woman's community, then I'll be safe. And I don't know if they're being serious or not, but if there are any women out there who sincerely think that women just being around other women is going to make you safer, that is proof of just how deep the indoctrination has been, how relentful the propaganda that pushes endless hate and sexism against men must have been, because it is objectively ridiculous to think that women will be safe around other women. I honestly don't know how you can go through so many years of your life and just ignore all of the evidence of female toxicity. It's like they're under some spell or part of a cult or something. Like it's like a brainwashing. Have they really never encountered that dark female psychology that exists? And I was trying to think, like, we can't create a zombie apocalypse, but what is the closest approximation to that kind of a scenario? Like a dangerous survival environment and there's only women. And the closest approximation I could think of would be a woman's only prison. So I did some research to see, well, what would this female community, like this compound that just has women, what would that be like? Would it actually be safer for women? Let's find out. So I found this study that gathered data over a 6-month period for like violence and sexual assaults and things like that inside prisons. And then it broke it down by gender. And you can see here with actual data what it's like when it's just women around other women. Reading from the study, prevalence rates were highest for female inmates, with 21.2%, 212 per thousand, reporting an incident of some type of inmate-on-inmate sexual victimization in the previous 6 months. This rate was 4.5 times higher than that estimated for male inmates, which was 4.3%. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but women are awful in the same way that men are awful. This is a human problem. Just being around women is not going to make you safe. Arguably, it's more dangerous. I've mentioned this before because it's a well-documented phenomenon that female-to-female relationships feature much higher rates of domestic violence than female and male relationships. Being with other women is not going to protect you. That's not going to make you safe. Statistically speaking, if you are a woman, you are safer from violence in a relationship with a man than in a relationship with another woman. Men are not violent. People are violent. This is not some channel of male supremacy where we pretend that men are better than women. Men can be just so depraved, so terrible. My point has always been, so can women. There are good women and there are good men, and there are bad women and bad men. And if we had to categorize ourselves into groups, wouldn't it make more sense to say all the good people over here together cooperating on a team and all the bad people over there, I can tell you confidently, I have a lot more in common with a good woman than a bad man, and I would rather her on my team than some terrible guy. Any kind of gender war is just inherently, it's so stupid. It is the dumbest way to divide and categorize people. And these women who are like, I've just got to be around other women. I don't know how you can be in such denial of your own capacity for darkness. How can you continue to perpetuate this myth that you are morally superior just because of your gender? But coming back to the apocalypse, I have a question for all the fathers in the audience, because if civilization did collapse, I'm guessing one of your first thoughts would be, how do I keep my children safe, right? Like you feel like that's your role. You're their parents. You have to protect them. That's what a father does. That's how a father thinks, right? Now, you might think that that's universal, but let's have a look to see how the mothers would respond. I am 100% out of here, no question. My boyfriend was shocked when I said I was also going to take our toddlers. Sir, my babies will not suffer with you. You're on your own, laughing my ass off. See you on the other side. I tuck my babies into bed and give them all the love and cuddles, and then I take us all out. I have 2 little boys, and I'm not subjecting them to anything the world would force on us. That stuns me. It angers me, actually. Fathers, if there is an apocalypse and you want to protect your children, perhaps the first thing you need to consider as a source of danger to them is their mother. And I'm not saying there's never a place to consider this as a last resort. Like you've got your cyanide pills and you think, okay, yeah, if we're locked in the bedroom and the zombies are actually beating down on the door, that might be the time. But if your first thought is like, nope, I don't want to deal with this and I'm taking my children with me. I don't even know, what is that? Who thinks like that? Like, is there no possibility in your mind for like, hey, maybe let's just suffer for a little bit on the off chance that things improve? Maybe the virus dies out. Maybe the military takes out the zombies. Like maybe life won't be as good as before, but let's do the best that we can. At least we've got each other. But these mothers like, nope, like we're out. I am so sick of the myth that children are safer with their mothers, that mothers, by nature of their gender, are just morally superior to fathers, that children are not safe around fathers. It is a lie. It is a hateful, sexist lie. And it's wrong. It is objectively, factually wrong. Children raised by single fathers vastly outperform children raised by single mothers. And I saw these statistics recently on Reddit, which shows that women are more likely to perpetuate child abuse than men. I mean, the figures are not hugely different. They're basically even, and the figure should be 0. Like there's nothing to be proud of. But I see these statistics and I think, yeah, of course, because men and women can both be awful. Like all of the information is out there, and I don't know how modern women are so oblivious or so in denial. Like how much damage has the media done in constantly pushing this myth that men are always the dangerous ones, that women are always so innocent and virtuous and angelic? It's not true. It's a lie. But I'm not going to push accountability onto the wider culture. No. You, as an individual woman, if you're going to push this nonsense, you're going to speak about gender dynamics, you have an obligation, a moral duty to do your due diligence and actually understand the truth, which is that this myth that you continue to push about women being so wonderful and women being terrible is sexist. It is bigoted. It is hateful. I know that your narrative is like, oh, like men, patriarchy, they keep us down. Men are so sexist. Well, here's the challenge that I would give to you. If you and I were sitting across from each other, I would say, tell me all the terrible things that men can do. The violence, the murder, the rape, all of it. And test my response. Because as you're listing all of this stuff, let me tell you what you're going to discover is a man sitting across from you nodding and agreeing. Yes, I'm completely aware and I accept it. Men can be terrible. But now let's flip it. Let's test you, put you in the hot seat. Let me list all of the awful things that women can do. The violence, the abuse, the paternity fraud, the false accusations. Let me show you the statistics. Let me read to you the stories that I've received from men who've been in abusive relationships with women. If you protest or if you deny or you blame it all on men, like, oh yeah, well that's how women are in a patriarchy. If that's your response, then that reveals which one of us is actually sexist. Definitely feel like I got emotionally pretty reactive in that last section. Whatever. whatever. This stuff bothers me. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. Some days I feel detached from it, but other days, I don't know. Moving on, I'm actually pretty excited to continue on with this video because I want to do a deeper dive into the specific fears that will come up for a woman if she was in an apocalypse scenario. And some of it's about her inherent limitations, but it's also very revealing to what degree women are reliant upon our current society, which she might claim is like oppressive or patriarchal, whatever. Actually, when the society is stripped away, she'll see how clearly it was to her benefit, all the systems that we've got in place. And I want to do an analysis of all of that and actually explain her psyche. So that's what we're going to do. It's a deeper dive into the female psychology around fear. If that sounds good to you, you want to keep watching, then come sign up on my Patreon. That's where I post the full-length versions of my videos. What I post here on YouTube, that's just the short and abridged versions. The full versions are on Patreon. If you're the kind of person who watches my videos to the end, and it seems like you are, then I'm guessing you're going to like my Patreon content. I'd be thrilled to get your support and have you come join me.